Okay, good morning, folks. Welcome to another weekly analysis. It is the 2nd of October 2023. Now, with every other video I'm going to make, there's always a story behind it. I've tried to make this about 10 times, but for some reason, I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm going to say hay fever, even though I don't suffer from hay fever, but whatever it is, I am snoring like crazy this morning here. So, literally to the point where it's like I can't put that video out there. And thankfully it was only like maybe a minute into things, rambling like I usually do. But yeah, so we'll do a weekly analysis here um, on Euro USD, and I'm actually starting on the monthly this time because it is a new month, and I've this marked out, and I had this already. This was from last week. It's just the new low. I do believe we're going to take out. September's candlestick, obviously August. I have the bottom end of this marked out because there is it's either going to leave this big imbalance or it's going to try and fill up at least, from the candles opening to here. It's going to maybe try and close it in. So us being, bearish for 11 weeks, um, there has to be a pullback at some point. But it all depends what the market wants to do. Does it want to steamroll everything? As far as I'm concerned, I'll just shift down to the weekly. No, actually, before I do, why would it be going bearish? This big, huge price imbalance here, right? So from October's candle to December's candle last year, this big price imbalance has been sitting there. So, it's been like this for a good while. I'll actually just change this. Now, so price can stay in balance for a long time. That's not to say from here to here won't be the same. I know people say, well, that candle hasn't closed yet. No, but that's what makes me feel like if it's going to retrace, it'll be looking to close this little imbalance. So, now let's move down to the weekly. Every single target we want to hit has been hit, all right, from every weekly analysis. This was taken out, this was taken out. Now, this is what my eyes on, right? And I'll dicky this up a little bit on the weekly. This candle's low, this candle's high. That's what's going to make sense now. The tough part is knowing, is it going to maybe, and this was August, low. Is it going to come up and try and close in a little bit of this? So I'd be looking for a reason for it to get there. Right now, from last week's candle, now I'm looking at this candle on this candle's wick, right? For me, now that it's closed beyond that, all right, the 50%, for me, it's just going to keep going bearish. I do like how it opened this morning, all right, so it opened up to close up from Monday the 18th. Weekly candle looking like it wants to close a little bit of imbalance there, aka due to swing, all right? So went up and it started to break down. Now, I just want to add this. I got sent two trades from one of the guys in my mentorship this morning. Till strategy that, I've been teaching the guys for a few months. And not even a few months, I've been building them up to understand the strategy. And I think he's banged in like um over 3 grand. All right. That may as well. I felt that good about it because he's starting to see, and they're all starting to see. I'm not trying to, just pinpoint one person out. It's just good to see that the guys are starting to get it now. And when he's putting out over that within two trades, to exactly, might I add, the strategy or what I've shown him how I trade. It is. I may as well have done the trade myself. That's how happy I felt. I was like, yes, yes. He's starting. They're all starting to see it. Given I've said this before, some guys just get a little bit more time on it. But it's very, very humbling, and makes me extremely happy because I know then. All right, this is something I've said in the past, and I said to the guys at a mentor. I always worry I know I can trade, right? I know I can trade, and I do that every day as my living. But can I teach? I always worry about, am I making this clear enough for these guys to understand, or do they even like me, or am I doing it right? So you could say they're putting a lot of investment in this, right? Not just the money in, but time. So I feel, and how do I put it? It's not a pressure for me. It's like a cure, right? That's what I mean. A cure about where this is going to take these guys. So I invest emotionally in this. That's what I mean. I am emotionally vested in this because I want to see these guys do well. They're all very like me, and we're all come from humble backgrounds and whatnot. I've been there in that place, so you're always. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I don't give a shit to be honest. About the rambles. I'm always gonna lay out something on the line every day. So whenever I see that, I get a real good feeling emotionally. It's almost like it actually overflows my mentality pot that I always talk about. You have a financial pot, or the pot you trade with, and then you have your mental pot, and it kind of fills me up. Overflows me whenever I see that guys are getting it, and they're always going to make mistakes too. We're all human, but it's exactly how I would have took a trade. So when I see that, I'm just like, oh, it just makes my week. So, yeah, I just thought I'd say I absolutely love that. I love the fact that the boys are getting it. So, that being said, I'll keep you on any longer. I know he's probably like, come on, mate, just get on with it. Let's take a look. And as always, I like to look at the charts fresh. I don't plan these videos. It's just me coming on. This was marked out from last week. I done a market review, and this is where I told the guys expect the market to go next. Especially now that this hasn't broke the low, it looks like support to retail traders. And now that this week's candle has closed beyond the 50 of this wick and this void, all right. And I'll make that clear again on the weekly Euro USD. Could not reach anyhow, right? This did pump up in, did not, close beyond it. So could have been just taking out this low to go long. But this one closed hard past it and past the midpoint this week. So ultimately, again, I'm just looking for sells, the best possible setups. Again, some of the boys in the mentorship have already pumped out 1, 3, 4% this morning in a trade. They don't need to trade the rest of the week. That's them done and dusted, really. So if they want, of course, they can get in and earn more. But that's the beauty of trading. If you get, when you take your time and the setup comes, which it has done this morning, they obliterated it. They just took full advantage of it. Now they can relax the rest of the week, or earn more. But I've always said to them, don't overtrade. You have to be picky with your trades now. Just let it run out to something perfect comes in. Okay. So the first question I'm going to ask now is: we broke this low, we've taken out these lows. This is the next sell side. Why? Because of this, and we've pumped past this void now. So what's the weekly candle? I'm just going to remove this. More likely to take out in a bearish market. Is it this high? Or is it the low? It's always going to be the low in a bearish market, and vice versa in a bullish market. That's the high probability trade to take out the low. Sells is the high probability, especially because it's open now this morning. Changed or closed in a little bit of this pricing band from this candle's opening to this candle's close. And it looks like it's starting to roll over. Now, the only thing in my mind is I do believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 weeks bearish, yes. 11. Is there any there's going to be a pullback at some point. There always is a pullback at some point. All right. So this is where we gotta be smart when we're trading, And I do believe this being the August low, all right, is there anything on the daily that might run into if it wants to make a pullback? August low 2023. Yes, it's here. We have already filled in this price and balance. Yes, we have some up here. Chances of it running out all this before this, not that high. I would still be looking sells. Again, let's just look on the daily, zoom in a little. It's common sense. This candle's low, right? To this candle's high. This was on Friday, but it's wicked up in it. We've come to the midpoint of this wick. We've started to sell. I want to sell into this, all right? Minimum to take out these lows. All right, so that would be what I'd be aiming for. I'll go down to the 4 hour just to have an even closer look. We have closed in this price imbalance and we've started to break down, all right? Have we closed beyond the midpoint of this for a value gap? No. So, and we haven't closed beyond this high, truly. So I'm still bearish, right? I still want to take out these lows. Now, after it does that, that's when I get really, really picky with my trading. I'd really sit my hands. All right. So I just want to make that clear. That's what I'm aiming for straight away. Look for yourselves. Bear in mind, we have been down 11 weeks. All right. Bear in mind, there is, just go back to the 4 hour. There will be a pullback at some stage. There's a nice big volume imbalance up here. All right. So it's going to use, if it is going to do that, by the way, it's going to use news to do so. Till then, sell. Right? Sell, sell, sell. Simple as that. Until it tells us otherwise and maybe takes us out for a loss. Right? It's still sell. Now, what do we have in the news front? Let me just pause this in a momento to get it up and resume. And unfortunately, I have to pause it because with this new recording system, it won't record if I flick in a tab. I don't know why. It's annoying the life out of me, but it is what it is. So today, PMI, it's a big one, right? Powell speaking. God knows what he'll say. They'll use news. So let's look at this week. Sorry, it's all USD this week. All USD, right? So we have non-farm, right? That's a big one, which is down here, really. Non-farm payroll. Friday, it's definitely going to use news to, I believe, either accelerate even more down or we're going to see a pullback, right? Pretty big news. PMI, non-farm payroll, jobs claims, non-farm payroll, employment rate. Friday's going to be a hard hitter, right? And let me pause this again. Again, sorry, I have to go back and forth to these. I believe we're going to take out these lows first. Possibly use news to accelerate into this or start taking out a lot of this buy side liquidity. All right. All this running down here, folks, is buy side liquidity. All right. But till then, as I always say, it sells, 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 sells. All right. That's my weekly review. That's what I believe the market's going to do. That's where I'd be aiming for more than likely on the weekly candle. Take out this low and push through this low, right? And start making its way down into this. Ultimately, I do believe we're going to go further than this. If I do believe we're going to go further than this, I just do. We've run into this void. It could have just continued and couldn't keep taking out these, but it didn't. It stopped dead at this void. So I still think this is just going to run into this and spec about a bit and push on. But that's me putting my neck on the line a bit. Bear in mind when I say sell, folks, That just doesn't mean you enter the market every morning and sell. You have to be prepared for it to take out highs, for example, and lows, and run into liquidity and run into buy stops and sell stops, etc. Ultimately, yes, the overall is sell, but you have to time it right. Right? 'Cause I get people ask me saying like, I was selling, did make money, and then they would send me their trade, and I would look at it and be like, you just timed it wrong, okay? You just like you see where the market ended up last week, for example. You know, it just immediately took out the lows, right? They just sold at the wrong time, wrong area. You have to time it. Just knowing where it's going though is changes the game of trading ultimately, because you're not fluffing about guessing, oh, we'll buy here, sell here. Wait for the perfect setup. Be patient. Don't stress. It'll come. The trade's coming. It's not going anywhere, this market. All right. And everything's pointing south. Again, closed in past the void, closed in past 50% this week, building up sell side liquidity. All right. Between here and here, run into a big imbalance. Remember, that's a monthly imbalance. All right. Time it. Now, when it takes out this weekly low, if it takes out this weekly low, you might have to sit in your hands a bit. But that's where you want to be going first thing. All right. So take care, folks. Thank you for tuning in to our weekly analysis. 25 FX. I appreciate any comments, likes, follows. Join the Discord group. Loads of free tutorials, which reminds me of hopefully getting another one done this week. And take care, safe trading, God bless.